Spoiler alert, Aladdin was never about Aladdin. Aladdin has always been about... So the famous Disney remake of Aladdin came out again this year, and after watching it again as an adult, I had the craziest revelation on who I believe the movie has secretly always been about, and how the story of Aladdin actually can show us on why God chooses us to fulfill his purpose in our lives. So I decided to make this video for those of you who believe God has a great calling for you in your life, and you want to know why God chose you and what it takes to fulfill that calling. So what I'll be using Aladdin to demonstrate today is the kind of person God chooses, the kind of opposition that person will come up against, the choices that person will have to face, and ultimately why that person is chosen. Now, obvious spoiler alert to those of you who haven't seen Aladdin, but if you haven't seen Aladdin by now, then something's wrong with you, so you got what's coming to you. And please don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button to stay in contact for future videos that I'll be uploading, ranging from anything really from self-development to business to godly inspiration to creative content in general. So whatever you need, I've got it. Hit subscribe and come check us out. So point number one, the kind of person God chooses. While I was watching Aladdin, I realized that the Cave of Wonders specifically demanded that only a diamond in the rough could enter the cave. It didn't ask for a poor person or an average Joe or even a great leader. It specifically said only a diamond in the rough. So I at first assumed that a diamond in the rough was someone who was pure of heart or something. But Aladdin's a nice guy and all, but I wouldn't say he's pure of heart. I mean, he is a thief after all, and a riffraff. But he did possess certain qualities that made him acceptable. And the Cave of Wonders can be a reflection of what God demands from us. In Hebrews 11 verse 6, it says that without faith, it is impossible to please God. And like myself, you may think that God demands perfection from you to be worthy of his cause. Just like the Cave of Wonders, God doesn't need you to be perfect or a great speaker or very popular. Just like Aladdin, God just needs someone who possesses certain qualities, and in our case, it's our faith and willingness to trust him. So, point number two, the opposition you'll come against. This leads us to Aladdin being inside the Cave of Wonders, which while he was inside, he was surrounded by all these great fake treasures and temptations that would have been incredibly hard to resist. And if Aladdin had allowed himself to be distracted by all these fake treasures, he wouldn't be able to claim the greatest treasure of all, the lamp that granted him his wildest dreams. And that's where the story really began to get to me, because God's given us a mission that can lead to our wildest dreams. But in our lives, we're surrounded by all these great fake treasures that if we allow ourselves to be distracted by, can cost us claiming the greatest treasure of all. But of course, Aladdin's a G, so he passes the test, finds the lamp, gets the genie that can grant him 3 wishes, and they go on their amazing journey together. And point number 3, the choices that person will need to make. So by the end of the movie, things start to get interesting where Aladdin has a choice between using his last wish on himself or using his last wish to free the genie, which no one ever knew was possible because no one ever bothered to even ask the genie what he had wanted in the first place. And Aladdin chooses... Nah, Aladdin chooses to free the genie, and that's where it clicked to me. Point number 4, the reason God chooses that person. I never realized before, but the movie Aladdin was never about Aladdin. The movie Aladdin was always about freeing Genie. And now I realize that the only person who would have freed Genie was a diamond in the rough. Just like Aladdin, God's going to give you great power and responsibility, but it's not to have 3 wishes, it's so you can free his people. That's why God chose you and your calling. In Luke chapter 12 verse 48, it says, "To whom much is given, much is required in return." And when you're put in a position of power, you're gonna have to decide between choosing your own self-interest or freeing Genie. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the illustration, and keep in your mind as well why God's chosen you and your calling. So don't forget to leave a comment, like, and hit that subscribe button to stay in contact for future videos, and we'll see you again soon.